The Tamana Cave on the northern slope of Mount Tamana in central Trinidad is the mecca for bats on the island. An estimated 500,000 of them inhabit this cave. Their tenancy and the nutrients they bring in via their feces dominate the cave ecosystem. Their sheer numbers create heat and carbon dioxide levels which make breathing difficult for those who venture there, and the walls are plastered with giant cockroaches. On the floor, amid the insects, live some of the largest frogs known to Trinidad. Several species of bats dwell together in this underground colony, each with its own complex social structure. Here, a Philostomus male is seen guarding its harem. At nightfall, the bats exit their subterranean roost in search of food. As the light fades, they pour out of the cave's mouth. Despite their huge numbers, their speed and their closeness to each other, a sophisticated communication and navigation system prevents the collisions that seem almost inevitable as they leave to fan out over the countryside. In the course of the night, they will, while feeding, perform the vital functions of pollination, insect control, and seed distribution. There are caves in the northern range as well, which, apart from the many insects attracted to their moist, dark interiors, offer another unique spectacle. In them live the oilbirds or guacharos. As the bats do, they forage at night despite the fact they feed exclusively on fruit. Unlike most birds, they have a well-developed sense of smell, which helps them locate fruiting trees, especially palms. They swallow the fruit whole and regurgitate the seed later. The floor of the cave is littered with these regurgitated seeds, all germinating hopefully, but doomed by the lack of light. In the complete darkness of the cave, they rely on echolocation, which, unlike the sonar used by the bats, can be heard as a series of clicks. The oilbirds are so named because their diet of palm fruit leads to their chicks having a very high fat content. The Amerindians who originally populated Trinidad and the early settlers would harvest oilbird chicks, separate the oil, and use it for cooking and in lamps. At the higher altitudes of Trinidad's northern range, often shrouded in cloud, we find forests that have adapted to the heavier rainfall and cooler temperatures. The trees are festooned with mosses and other epiphytes, constantly dripping with moisture. This is the home of the beautiful golden tree frog, a species that is specially adapted to live within the giant bromeliads that grow at these altitudes. These bromeliads serve as the frog's entire universe. It lives and reproduces in the pools of water found at the heart of the plant. Its flattened profile permits it to move easily between the interlocking leaves. The golden tree frog is found nowhere else on Earth other than the bromeliads in the moist forests of Trinidad's highest peaks. There is another species that is unique to the upper reaches of Trinidad's northern range. The luminous lizard is so named because, when originally discovered, it was thought to be luminous, and in the dark recesses that it inhabits, the bright spots on its side may well have appeared to glow. The Northern Range's heavy rainfall is channeled into the valleys and folds on the mountainsides to form the headwaters of streams and waterfalls, surrounded by communities of plants suited to such moist conditions. These streams form the tributaries of the larger rivers, flowing from the foothills and into the adjoining plain on the south side of the range, or from the northern slopes down into the sea. The pools along these watercourses are richly populated. The Trinidad guppy carries the name of one of Trinidad's early eminent naturalists and is found in aquariums throughout the world. The guppies share the streams with tetras, cichlids and other creatures like the galap and the Trinidad otter. Some of the south-flowing rivers flow eventually into wetlands. The largest of these is the Nariva Reserve. Here, forest, marsh and mangrove merge. Several of Trinidad's larger mammals can be found in Nariva. The monkeys are the noisiest and most visible, especially the red howlers. They have a pronounced social hierarchy. The dominant male asserts his superiority with loud guttural calls. They feed on a variety of fruit and leaves, and will sometimes peer down from the canopy to view the casual visitor. In the heat of the day, activity slows down, and the troop will select an appropriate tree to pass the time resting. Their smaller cousins, the white-fronted capuchins, are not quite so noisy, but very lively and highly sociable. A favorite food is the fruit of the cocoreat palm, but they feed also on shoots and leaves. As with the red howlers, grooming is an important social ritual. They seem naturally playful creatures with an evident enjoyment in each other's company. Another noisy denizen of the Nariva swamp forest is the cigada or seagull. Their shrill call practically drowns out every other sound as they announce a coming rainstorm. The porcupine is normally nocturnal, but it can sometimes be seen in the day, making its slow way through the upper branches. Where the forest meets the marsh is home to a wide range of plants and animals, the manatee being the largest of these. At night, the spectacled caiman patrols the channels in search of a meal. Birds, crabs, fish, or another reptile will do. The caiman is not fussy. Another Nariva predator is the anaconda, the largest snake in the Western Hemisphere. All snakes in Trinidad are severely persecuted. A few, like the corals and this fer de lance, are indeed dangerous. But most are harmless and are an important part of the animal community. Despite the national antipathy towards snakes, the anaconda survives at Nariva Swamp, equally at home on land and in the water.